he has sent me a sports game after a fashion. It's not necessarily something I'm... John, you've gone too far. You've gone too far this time. Like, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, I love the chihuahua at the bottom. He's like, yo, what's up? I'm a dog. Forgive me for saying what might be the most obvious thing I've ever said on this channel, but this video is gonna go one of two ways. So back in May, I was at QuirksCon with my friend, the Immortal John Hancock. We were out to breakfast, and John got an evil look on his face about halfway through our millionaire bacon that we had, and he said, I'm gonna send you a game. Normally I like getting games in the mail because games mean more games to play, and that's never a bad thing, but John specifically told me that this was not going to be a pleasant experience for me. He specifically said this is going to be a very bad game, one of the worst he's ever played, one of the worst he's ever seen. He wanted me to give my impressions of it. Now, this is going to lead to an ever-escalating war of attrition between the two of us, where we're just going to be sending, like, the absolute just of shitty video games back and forth to each other, and I'm okay with it. So what do you say? Let's pop this... Oh, and yeah, let's take a look at this sticker here. Yep, there's poop. There's poop on the sticker. So that should tell you what we're going to get ourselves into with this one. So let's pop this open, let's find out what game it is, and then let's do a review of whatever monstrosity awaits me inside this package. Oh goodness, this is real. This is an actual... This is real. Okay. Alright, so you guys, if you guys know me, if you guys know John, you know we both enjoy sports games, and he has sent me a sports game after a fashion. It's not necessarily something I'm... John, you've gone too far. You've gone too far this time. This is Jerry Rice and Nitus's dog football. Let's find out how awful this is. Like, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, I love the chihuahua at the bottom. He's like, yo, what's up? I'm a dog.
It's just Jerry Rice up in the upper
yeah, here's my dog Nitus.
As if to say, yeah, that Jerry Rice.
Yeah, exactly.
Things have gotten that bad.
The one from Dancing with the Stars. We're not going to claim him on the 49ers. We're going Dancing with the Stars, Jerry Rice.
Hey, look, you have to do something after taking so many headshots in football.
That's true. That's true. All right. So we're not going to look at it quite yet. So there's some choice stuff that needs to be examined here. First off, yes, that Jerry Rice. The very same member of the San Francisco 49ers, Super Bowl winning Jerry Rice. This is his game. This is his game. Now I want to read to you a sample from the back of the box. Football has gone to the dogs. Lead your team to victory in snow, on the beach, or even in outer space. Choose from 12 wild fields. 1 to 4 player co-op action in season and exhibition mode. Win over 250 prizes like custom balls and accessories. Control 20 dog breeds, 14 human quarterbacks with 185 plays. 12 interactive fields with playful penguins, mooing cows, and more. There's a Pet Sports League logo on the front. Did you know there was a Pet Sports League? I sure didn't. John, I kind of hate you right now.
Welcome to Hollywood Mansion.
Alright, for those of you that are new to the channel, the way I do my reviews is pretty straightforward. I look at 4 categories, and those categories are graphics, sound, gameplay, and aesthetics. Now, aesthetics is a catch-all category, I'm not going to lie to you. It's basically anything I forgot to mention in any of the other categories as I was talking through the review, as well as things like package art, disc art, instruction manual stuff, things like that. And I actually am kind of excited that I can speak to each thing on this review of this, what is truly impressively bad. It's bad. This game's awful. Now, I try to keep things fairly positive, and I do want to point out good things for each category as I'm going, so I'm going to hit you with the good stuff. We're going to start off the review that way for each category, and then we're going to get into the, shall we say, failure points of the conversation, because there are numerous ones in this game. Starting off, though, is with the look, and the look of the game is, I mean, shockingly good. Like, it's not great. None of these actually look like people that are the people you control, and that's okay. I mean, I don't really expect that. This is the highest of high quality shovelware garbage BS for the Nintendo Wii, and if they looked good, I would be kind of disappointed that someone spent as much time as they did on this, especially because it's called dog football. I would expect the dogs to be the best looking part of the game, and truly they are. They actually represent their breeds fairly well. Now, not so much in their actually, like... We'll get to that in gameplay. Now, the other thing about this game is that each of the fields that are in the game are supposed to be wackadoo and kind of wild and weird and crazy, and, I mean, that's achieved. But they're cavernous. They're absolutely massive. Like, these are supposed to be 100-yard fields, and they legitimately feel like they're about a mile long. There are obstacles that you're going to run into that are going to cause you to just fumble the ball randomly. There are things that you're going to need to jump over, and you'll run for a good 35 or 40 seconds thinking that you've gone a good 35 or 40 yards, and you've only gone like 15 or 20. It was an interesting design decision, to say the least. I will say that it's an achievement that they actually were able to make the levels as cohesive as they are, because I don't expect them to be good by any stretch of the imagination, because this game is awful, but the levels actually work. Like, they actually work. They're just too big. Like, they were a little too ambitious. Like, someone in the design team over at Judo Baby had an idea of what these levels should look like, and they just ran with it, and it was unfettered design process for each of these levels. So there were no checks and balances, is what I'm saying. And I think that's kind of the whole shebang here of this game, is that it's a lot of no checks and balances. Now, from a sound perspective, I actually really liked it. So, starting off, I was stoked to hear this music on the disc select screen on the Wii menu. I'm a sucker for ska music. I just enjoy it. It's a branch of punk that I really like. And to get a pretty kick-ass ska playlist right at the start of the game was really kind of fun. That's where it stops, though. The rest of the audio is terrible. The rest of the audio is absolutely terrible. There's random dogs barking as you play the game, which, I mean, you kind of expect. It's dog football, and football for dogs, one would assume. The audio lines for each of the quarterbacks in the game are few, and they repeat constantly. It's pretty atrocious to have to listen to the same lines over and over again, but I think the thing that got me the most with the audio was on this level here where I'm playing in Hollywoof, not Hollywood, Hollywoof. There are butlers wandering around, and their audio levels are so high that they're louder than anything else on the screen. So it's just like, and if you can't see them, it just sounds like there's random voices talking to you. Like your psyche has been fractured by both Jerry Rice and Nitus. They're just taking your mental capacities and taking your psyche and just crapping all over it and making you hear voices in your head. But no, they're actually butlers. I found that out later. It's not a great sounding game outside of that ska soundtrack. Everything else is pretty much middling at best. I think, if I'm being honest, it's not a great game. We're gonna keep coming back to that fact a whole lot, especially with this next part in gameplay. So, right off the bat, a game that's running on the Wii, especially when I'm running it through the Wii U on the Wii emulator on there, I would expect to perform a little bit. The loading times in this game are atrocious. You can see here, when I've got this loading screen that has the crab juggling dog treats, it just chugs. Like, it shouldn't be this choppy on a loading screen. I would expect it to load in a little bit quickly, but a lot of that goes back to what I was talking about with the look of how cavernous and huge the levels are. It's loading in a lot of data, and it takes forever to do so. And when you get into game, the performance isn't much better because it doesn't really prep you for anything. Like, when you snap the ball, you're only using one controller, so you don't even get to use the nunchuck to move your characters around. You just snap the ball, and then to throw it, you have to keep pointing it up before you throw and snap it forward using motion controls. and it's just going to randomly go to whatever dog happened to be barking at the time, as opposed to you being able to target and select a receiver. It's ridiculously unintuitive, and if you happen to take your thumb off of the A button, you'll just drop the damn ball, and you'll have a dead play. It's frustrating to say the least. Like, now I'm equating a lot of like gameplay experience I have with things like Madden into this, and I realize that might be asking a lot for the developers from Judo Baby, but I would at least expect it to be a somewhat cohesive football experience as opposed to this absolute pile of tripe that I got. They say that there are over 185 plays in the game, and when I'm looking for a football game, I want the plays to at least be cohesive, and from what I was able to tell, there's 185 plays in the game, sure, but they're just kind of repetitions of the same ones, just named differently per character. So, like, the character I was playing was a skateboarder, so you have things like rail grind and things like that, but they're the same thing that other characters have in their playbook as well, just named a little bit more funny for their particular personality trait. And that's not, I don't know, that just seems cheap to me. Like, and I could be wrong on that, but I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna devote the time and the mental time. Yeah, see, look, my brain's broken just talking about this awful game. I'm not going to devote the time or the mental capacity of like what I have left of my brain cells from a misspent youth to worrying about what plays are in this game. They're not good enough to look into. They're not good enough to experience more than the one time I'm playing this title. And it just doesn't play like football. Like, you don't move your characters around in any kind of traditional way. Like, you don't have a juke or anything like that, like to dodge players. You have to be holding this, like, really incongruous, just unflattering way to play the game. You have to hold down the A button and then juke, but if you hold it down too long, it's going to auto-run, but if it doesn't auto-run, then it's going to allow you to do the jumps. It's like, it's so unintuitive and just such a stupid design decision that I haven't even gotten to the worst part. You don't move them with a controller. You have to point the stupid blue dog bone pointer on the screen, and theoretically your dog will run towards that. Now, if you hold down the A button, he's supposed to follow the best path to get to the end zone, but that doesn't happen either. I had plenty of times where I was pointing the Wii Remote at the screen, towards the top of the screen, that it tells me to do in practice, and my dog would just run in circles. It's so bad. It's just atrocious. Now, from an aesthetics point of view, the game, I mean, the box art's fine. They kind of aped the EA Sports design a little bit, which I kind of think is funny. The instruction manual is there, the disc art is fine, but the best part is the fact that we have a Pet Sports League logo, and we got a picture of Jerry and Nitus on the cover. That's, like, from an aesthetic perspective, that's the best thing. The menus are bad. They're really difficult to navigate, and it's just not a fun experience. Like, I try to be positive in every game I play, and I try to find something that I can look at and go, you know what? It's not a game for me, but I can see how this would be for somebody. Not this one. Jerry Rice, you should be ashamed of yourself. Ah, boy. Nah, I have played some bad games in my life. Some really, really bad games. Like, I played a lot of N64 games, y'all. And a lot of PS1 games. There's a lot of bad games on those consoles. And I can tell you, without hesitation, Jerry Rice and Nitus' Dog Football might be the worst game I've ever played. Now, there are some positives to the game. I'm here for the ska. Love the ska. Happy to hear the music on the menus. And the graphics in the game are much better than I would have anticipated. But that is where the positives end, my friends. Don't play this game. Don't ever play this game. But, John, I'll be sending my game along soon. If you enjoyed this one and there are atrocious games that you think I should be sending John's way, let me know in the comments down below. Any console is open for him to receive this just pile of tripe. I would love to hear your suggestions because I think an ever-escalating war of mediocrity and terribleness is about to hit. Till next time, folks, I've been Jay. Appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me and stomaching the awfulness that is Jerry Rice and Nitus' Dog Football. From Judo Baby. That's our developer, Judo Baby. Remember to play more games, stay square, and never play this pile of crap. I'll talk to you soon.
You lose.